Hi, my name is Jennifer Bankston, and I'm your child's English teacher this year for 8th grade. First off, I want to apologize for not being there in person. I had a personal matter to attend to, and I just couldn't be there. But hopefully, with this video and Miss Green's information, you'll feel okay. And please feel free to email me if you have any questions. My email is on the paper that you're going to be getting tonight. Looks like this. Also, it's on the course syllabus that you received a couple of weeks ago. So first off, about myself, this is my 16th year teaching in LAUSD, and I feel really good about this group of kids I have this year. They're all very sweet, very with it, so I'm excited. I feel really good. So I'm just going to go through the paper that you have here. A couple of questions I was kind of going to go over anyway. So the first question on the paper says, how can I check my child's progress, their grades, see how they're doing? First off, your child can request a printout on Fridays just to kind of get some individual assignments and their scores on that. That's one way. But the main way you can see is through our class website. So the URL, the website is on the top of the paper. It's bankston.classnewbay.com. It's also posted in the classroom. They can log on and you can see the assignments and you can see the scores they receive for those assignments from here on out. So that's probably a good way. And then, of course, every 5 weeks, the school gives the student either a progress report or a report card. But you can also email me if you have any questions about how your child is doing. The second thing I wanted to talk about on this paper, it says, how much homework will my child have? So the homework is pretty simple for my class. The standard homework is given on Monday and it's due on Friday. It's a list of 10 vocabulary words focusing on Greek and Latin root words, and they have to know what they mean and they have to do a couple of activities with those words. So that's given on Monday and it's due on Friday. Now, they received this paper. It's kind of hard to tell. This is also, all this paperwork is also on my website you can download. But that paper has some more information about the 2 ideas that they have to give me every Friday regarding those 10 words. So that's the kind of basic homework. But every once in a while I'll have them maybe finish an assignment we didn't get to finish in class, pre-read a story that happened last week. But that's not including the 20 minutes of nightly reading they should be doing always. So they're always going to have to read their own book of their choosing every night. So please make sure that they get that reading time in. I brought the kids to the library, so they should have a book that they're reading because that's going to be important. I'll get to that in a moment. Okay. The third question on the paper, it says, how can I stay updated with what's happening in the class? And again, my website, bankston.classnewbay.com, every Sunday night I post a little preview as to what's happening that upcoming week. So it's kind of written blog style. So if you go to my website and you scroll down, you'll see kind of what's happening every week. I'll say the story we're reading, or I'll talk about the homework that's due that week, or any kind of events that are happening. So that's a weekly update that I do, is through my website. The Student Planner is a book that maybe you've seen. It's like their organizer. I make the children write their homework every week. So if you're ever curious as to what's happening homework-wise, you could also ask to see their planner. That's a good way that we can communicate too. If you're, maybe you don't have email, you can write me a note in the planner, and then we can kind of communicate back and forth that way. The next question on the paper says, what materials will my child, or should my child have? And it's pretty basic: paper, pencils, pens. Of course, I always think a flash drive is important at this point to save work when we get on the computers, because we do have laptops and we will be using the computers daily, weekly, right? So that's probably a good bet for them to have. And also a reading book. They have to have a reading book with them every day. Let's see. So throughout the year, we're going to be focusing on the basic Common Core California state standards. So that includes, of course, reading short stories and reading excerpts of novels. We will kind of focus on two novels this year, The Outsiders and The Giver. We'll also be reading nonfiction articles or informational articles that kind of supplement the fiction pieces. Also, of course, with our daily warm-ups, we're going to be focusing on grammar and writing conventions and just overall sentence structure and making sure that their writing skills are up to par. Another big assignment that we have coming up is we'll read the play Diary of Anne Frank. So I'll try to squeeze in that performance drama to just strengthen their understanding of all four areas. So we'll focus on reading, writing, of course, vocabulary, and the grammar and the writing conventions. Every Friday, the students have 2 quizzes. This is something that's on the back sheet, the back side of that paper you were given. So they will have a vocabulary test on the 10 words that they have with homework. And they're also going to be given a grammar quiz every Friday based off of the grammar and conventions we're working on during our warm-up time throughout the week. So I feel like every Friday the students should be pretty prepared for both the vocabulary quiz if they did their homework and the grammar quiz if they've paid attention and taken good notes and done their warm-up completely. Something else that you need to be looking forward to is in September, I'm going to start the monthly book project. So every month, the students have to complete some book project based off of that book they should be reading on their own time. So that hasn't started yet, but in September, they'll get a list of projects to choose from that they can complete based off their book. And so that's going to be coming up every month. There's going to be a book project due starting in September, and that more information will come home about that later. The next question is, how will I know if my child's behaving in class? So I have my consequences on the board, on the screen poster. First, I give a warning. Then, if we're still having issues, I have the child write a reflection letter, and hopefully with some self-evaluation, they can kind of figure out why they're acting the way they are. And if we're still having issues, that's the point that I will call you. So, so when I call you, just know that I've talked to them and they've written a letter kind of going through their own actions. And if we're still having issues, then of course we'll get Ms. Green involved and see if we can come to some solution there. If your child is absent, there's 2 ways they can get their missing work. I do have paper copies of all the work in the classroom by the door. They're called absent folders. Also, the class website would be a good place to look to see what assignments we were working on that day. And then the last question on this paper says, how can I contact the teacher? I have my email there. Like I mentioned, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. And of course, my conference period is first period, so that's from like 8 to 9. So if you have some time in the morning, I'm usually available to talk to you at that point. Please let me know if you have any questions. Maybe Ms. Green can help you. Again, I apologize for not being there in person, but thank you so much for coming. Bye. Hope to see you at Parent Conference.